Hi, welcome back. Today we have our Friday night pen thoughts, episode number 13. After 2 weeks without this video, and today is Lisboa, 25 de junho de 2021. And so, once again, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry for missing these Friday night pen thoughts in the previous 2 weeks, but sometimes life gets into the way. Sometimes I have some days off and I really need to rest. But last week what I had was a very full day of work and I had no time to record the video. So it's not that I was super tired, but I didn't have the time, so it wouldn't make sense to do it in some other day, I think. And so, I'm glad to be back, and I hope you will enjoy this video also. So, first thing as usual, for this episode of Friday Night Pen Thoughts, which pens will I use? So, I will use two pens, and both arrived very recently. One of the pens is this one. This is the pen with which I wrote the title. It is a pen that doesn't behave very well in this paper, or this paper doesn't behave very well in this pen. It feathers a lot, and mostly because this is a very wet nib, and the one below doesn't even behave well. So I think this paper is not that as good, but I think it is the paper that is quite nice for this kind of video. So this pen is the Aurora 2-cart K with gold cap, and this is a pen that I showed you the unboxing. It has still the price, and apparently this is a model that comes from this derives from the old Aurora 88, but it is a cartridge pen that takes proprietary Aurora cartridges, the vintage ones, and it has a rattling system inside to warn us that there is only one cartridge inside. And so I got this pen, and if you want you can check the video. I will put links below for all this stuff. And this pen, I think there are two ideas about this, or two explanations, because this pen should have silver colored cap. So, or this pen is Aurora 888 with a section of a 2-cart K, or it is an Aurora 2-cart K with the cap of an Aurora 888. But I don't know if we will ever know the truth, if this was made after purchase or if this was a variation made in the factory. So let me just write the name of the pen. So, pens for today. This is a very wet pen. We have the Aurora 2-cart K with some black ink, which I don't know which ink it is. I was going to use a sample of the Waterman purple, but I don't really know this color. This is a black one, so I think I did a mistake and filled the pen with the ink mix, like awful blackish ink mix that is on the sample vial besides the Waterman. So I think I used the wrong ink for this pen. But now that is inked, when it is empty, I will then put maybe the Waterman violet. This pen is quite interesting because it has a gold nib that allows to have some line variation. This is with no pressure. And if you apply some pressure, you will have this kind of stuff. And of course, you will ruin all the pages of this Muji notebook. But you can see the line variation. Sometimes it skips the first. I think because it's very wet and it has a little gap between the tines, and sometimes they don't really touch the paper, and it's like a baby's bottom, kind of. So you see, this feathers a lot in this paper. This paper is very bad for this. You can see the line variation you can have between both. So this is something amazing, and then you are ruining the other pages below or beneath. So this is one of the pens for today. The other pen for today is this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. And I did not say this is beautiful, but I think this is one of the most interesting pens I ever got. This is a pen that I got as a loan from Appleboom. Unfortunately, it is a loan, but it has to be. This is a very expensive pen, but so very nice. There's a little feather there. And you can see the brand there. This is the Scribo Puma Utopia. Here in Portugal we say Utopia. And it has a nice nib with filled writing. And when I look at this nib, gold nib, I thought, okay, that nib is not very wide in the shoulders. It's not that amazing. So let's see. And I inked the pen very recently and wrote with it just a little bit by now. And I have to say that this pen is amazing. So this is the Scribo Puma Utopia. It writes very, very, very well. Inside, with this feathers a lot also in this paper. Maybe it's the ink or the paper. I think it's the combination of the ink and paper. Inside we have this Leonardo Taurasi Vino. Leonardo Taurasi Vino, which is kind of a beautiful Bordeaux or Burgundy ink. And it's really a fun pen also. So we were talking about the line variation with the vintage Aurora. This is kind of vintage from the 1960s. And this is a modern pen with a fine, that is a medium nib. This is a fine nib. And you can write with it. And you can see that even applying low pressure, you can see the line variation. But if you apply some more pressure on the nib, you will have this. So again, an amazing pen with lots of line variation. It's not really that kind of flexi pen that it flexes just with no pressure. You need to apply some pressure, but this nib is really amazing. It's very smooth. It feels very well on the paper. It's very smooth, but it's not glassy smooth, and I like that. So when I looked at the nib, it didn't look that impressive, but now, yes, I'm impressed with it. So very nice shape, very beautiful material. I'm enjoying to have this pen for some time with me. Now, the next theme or next topic is previous videos I've made. Okay, I made some videos, of course, because there have been 2 weeks in between. And so during this time, I made 7 unboxings. Yes, I've been receiving lots and lots of pens. So maybe I'm spending a little bit too much than I should on pens, but don't worry, it is controlled, but maybe I spent a little bit too much for what is reasonable. Then I published also the video that I make every month, which is pens from last month. Also a video with pens with coral or terra color. For my eye, it is kind of the same thing to me, but I know it's not the same thing for everyone. So this was a video that I made, like a collection overview, and I made one review. And the review was only one of this pen, the Duquesa 1935, and I forget the name, Antiqua. So it was the review of this pen, also with a flexi nib. And about future videos, what am I planning? Okay, I'm having lots of work at work, so I don't know if I have much time to make many videos. I would like to, but I'm not sure. And then I will have some days off. Most of the days I will be at home. Maybe I will go for a walk in some of those days of holidays, but mostly I'll stay home. And I'll try to make some more videos by that time, but maybe I'll spend also a couple of days outside Lisbon. But now I need to be a little bit careful because all this virus thing is getting a little bit worse here. So let's see. But I pretend not pretend is not the English word. It's my intention to make some videos when I'm on holidays. But before that, I need to make some other videos. So I'm planning of making some reviews. I'm planning make the video that I make every month, which is pens for June, which is the pens that I have with ink for a specific month. This video should be on the beginning of June. I didn't have the time for it, so I'll try to publish it soon. It will be more towards the end of the month, but I don't think that's a problem. At least I have now several less pens inked than when I started the month. And I also planning, but I don't control that, some more unboxing videos because I have some stuff coming. And so let's talk about these reviews. So I'm planning to publish soon the reviews of a couple of pens. One is this interesting pen that I showed you before. This is the Santini Olive with this beautiful nib, piston filler pen. Santini Libra, the color is olive. It has a beautiful material. It is a very, very nice pen. I'm really happy with this pen. It's a pen that I bought some time ago. Also another pen that I bought, this one. This is the Gravitas Steel Skull Edition. A very nice pen, very well made, from Ireland. So this is another review that I intend to record. And the other one is this pen that I have for alone, not for me, from Appleboom, which is the nice Lamy Dialogue 3. And it is a nice pen. I have to say that when I got it, I thought, this is too bulky, this is too big, it's not very good. And now I changed my opinion completely. I think this is a very good pen, although I think I still prefer the Pilot capless design for a retractable nib fountain pen. But the nib on this Lamy is really great. So these are the videos that I'm planning to do someday soon. And let's go for another topic, which is pens I received. I'm not going to write them all, I will just talk about them. Show them, not write. So, what did I receive? I received the Scribo Puma. I received the Aurora 2-card K. So this is a purchase that I made. I also received the Aurora Aureta, which is like, I would say, the son or the daughter of that pen. It is a kind of a school pen. The Aurora Aureta, also with a semi-hooded nib, in steel version, which is not common to find. I didn't receive this one, no. I think I'm showing pens that I did not receive today. Sorry, I was showing a wrong pen. This one. This is not... I received this before. I showed it in the last video. So, sorry. This is Kaweco 316A. 356. It was a mistake. The pen that I really received was this one. This is the Kaweco 316A in blue. It is a very beautiful pen. This was a unboxing that received lots of negative criticism. I think my unboxings are not really that fun for most people, or for many people at least. And I also received Kaweco pens, and those were amazing videos, or at least, I'm not saying the videos were amazing, but for me, the experience of receiving these pens were amazing, or was amazing. So, I received several pens, 2 modern ones. One was this. This is the Kaweco Sport Violet. This is a special edition for the store in Turkey, Galen leather. All full transparent purple Kaweco Sport, very, very beautiful. I also received another pen that I purchased. This one I bought. All these Kaweco pens I bought myself. The other one is this, which is very nice also. This is a pen. It's called, as far as I know, I'm not completely sure of this, it is called Kaweco Classic Sport Cappuccino. I thought the Cappuccino was the same color as the previous existing color, which was called Macchiato. Apparently they are different colors. This one has gold trim, the other one has silver trim. This is more warm, little darker tone. So I'm very happy that I got this pen. This is new for me. I didn't know it existed until I received it on the mail. But there was something funny about it, and I decided to risk to buy it, and it went well because I didn't have it, but I thought I did, and I would be just wasting money. Then I also received 3 other Kaweco pens that I bought from I Need a Pen in the Netherlands. One was this Kaweco Sport by Diplomat in green. I had the transparent, the blue and the blue guilloche, and the blue and the black guilloche versions of Kaweco Sport by Diplomat, but not the green, and there are some colors still missing. I got the Kaweco Sport Galvano blue, which has a transparent barrel and section, and this cap that is made of plastic but has a finish that looks like metal, and it has also some texture on the barrel. I already had the black version of the Galvano, and I also got the Kaweco Sport Titan in black, which also has the same kind of pattern, and I also had the blue. So they made it black and blue for the Galvano, which is the shiny one, and black and blue for the Titan, which is this matte one. So, lots of pens that I received. I received 5 Kawecos and some others that I showed you, and I'm about to receive some more pens. I bought a lot as a package of vintage, not vintage, but older Kawecos by the same time as these, which means maybe the end of 1990s, and it is a bunch of 6 Kaweco pens. Some will be duplicates, but I'll have there very interesting stuff to complete my collection, so I'm very excited to receive that. That's why I told you that some unboxing videos may happen next week. So with those 6 Kaweco Sport pens, I also pre-ordered the 3 Kaweco Sport pens that are a special edition from the United States. It is a dark blue, a light blue, and a deep red, so I'm quite interested to see how they turn out, how different they are from others, and be sure that I'll make lots of color comparisons, as I like to do. Then I'm also expecting to receive 2 Kaweco Art Sports. One will be the real, it's called real, not royal, but the real blue Kaweco Art Sport, and also the dark blue Kaweco Art Sport. Those Kaweco Sports are both from Generation 3, and I'm trying to complete that collection of Generation 3 Art Sport, but I don't think I will be able to do it because I'm still missing some colors, and one of those, the violet or purple, is no longer available anywhere. So maybe someday someone will be willing to sell one to me that they have in their collections. And besides these, I know there is more Kaweco. Yes, I will be receiving a new launch from Ackerman store, and it will be a Kaweco AL Sport Ackerman Orange. So it looks like a bright orange Kaweco AL Sport, which I am very curious to see and to compare that kind of orange with the orange of the AC Sport. So, as I told you, I'm expecting 6 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2. So, how many? 12? Yes, I think I'm expecting 12 Kaweco Sports soon. So, that's why I say that maybe I spent a little bit too much, but there are some pens that you have one opportunity to get them, and that's the case of some of these older ones. They don't show up every day. And another thing that I need time to do is to update and upgrade my website Kaweco Madness, because I'm trying to put more information there as I complete my collection a little bit more, but it also takes a lot of time, and sometimes I have to choose. Sometimes I have to choose between making videos or doing some other stuff, because between preparing the video, putting every stuff around that I'm going to talk about, editing the video, uploading, and so on, it really takes lots of time. I enjoy doing this, but sometimes I wish I could do more, but I can't. So I'm really doing this I'm doing this at my own rhythm. Maybe some people say that I post too often, but if I could, I would do it even more regularly. But of course, I have to play with my work activities, my family activities, and sometimes free time to read, to search for pens online, to do all kinds of stuff that are also fun. To run a little bit, to walk, to everything. So, let's go on. I don't think this video will be too long, but maybe I say this every time. We are reaching the part of the video when I talk about the uncommon pen of the day. And today is a Japanese pen, the Navy Fleet. And this is a pen that I say it is uncommon, but because I think it is uncommon with an uncommon detail. But what do I know? I have a review of this, so you can check it. What do I know about this? I know it is Japanese, and I know it may be from the 1960s. Anything more? No, I don't know anything more about it. So if you do, please feel free to put your comments below. I will leave links there for stores if you can find some of these pens, maybe for Duchessa, Santini, Gravitas, who knows. I will put all that below, and I will put also the links for the reviews of the pens that I already reviewed. And the most interesting thing about this pen is, first, it was bought at the flea market here in Lisbon. I think the most interesting part of this pen is the nib. It is a metal pen, but with a very strangely light metal. If you hold it, it seems almost like plastic. It is a kind of aerometric filling system, you see, with this rubber there. And you have there Navy to fill pressed ribbed bar firmly 4 times, and then nothing more, so no information. The color is quite nice. I really like this 1960s color, and you can see the name of the pen there, Navy. In one part, okay, this will not be easy to focus. I record these videos on my phone, and lately I'm having some trouble to focus, maybe some software update. But it's, believe me, it says there Navy, and in that side it says Fleet. It is upside down in the way I'm holding the pen. And it has this very interesting shape. I really find this pen interesting. It's not a great writer, it's not anything special, but I found it quite uncommon. It was the first time I ever saw this brand, ever saw this pen, and I thought it interesting, and I bought it at flea market, as I told you, and mostly because it reminded me of another pen that is much more recent, and I'm talking about the amazing Waterman Carène. And what they have in common? Okay, it's not a perfect match, yes, but look at this. I think there is some similarities about the nib. This is the underside of the pen. They have some stuff in common. The Japanese pens have usually a much smarter thing, which have this hole there by the end of the section, so it's easy to suck ink from the bottle if the ink volume is low. Not that easy with Waterman, where the hole is there, not at the tip, so like this. But on the regular side of the nib, they have some similarities, I would say. The kind of way the nib is put into the pens. Maybe it's not direct, but if you told me that these pens were both from the same brand and this was the previous edition of this one, yes, I would believe. So this is kind of a gold plated or just gold colored, very cheap looking Japanese fountain pen that I found, and I thought it would be fun to show here on the uncommon pens of the day. Because when I look at my pens, and if I want to make a big list of uncommon pens to show on future videos, most of my list will go for rotring pens, which is kind of fun. I never thought of that way, but I'm realizing that happens. The next thing that I want to talk about is the 3,500 subscribers. This pen is amazing on the channel, and so there will be a giveaway. And the giveaway will be of a TWSBI Go with in blue. So this is a giveaway. This is a pen that I received a long time ago from Apple Boom for review purposes and then to give away. So you can check the review. I got this pen. I used it for the review, then I didn't use it more. It is this pen made of plastic. It is quite simple but effective, and it has this interesting filling system with this pump that you just do like this. It is a piston with a spring that makes filling the pen very easy, and it is quite an interesting pen. And I'm not a big fan of TWSBI, as I think you already know, because of the problems with the materials, but this one is made of a plastic that looks somehow a little bit softer and it doesn't look brittle, so I think this is a very nice pen. I didn't want to make a giveaway immediately after I received it because I was afraid it would crack or so, but it is okay. So I think this pen, this pen will actually be the next pen to be given away to one of the subscribers of the channel. So I will post on the community tab or maybe even make a video, then I will have to see, but pay attention because this will be also one of the future videos. I didn't write it there before, but this will be one of the future videos. The entry for a giveaway for this TWSBI Go Blue for the 3,500 subscribers of the channel, which I thank you all for, because most of you that are watching the video today are subscribers. And now, let's go to the final two topics of this video. The next one, and I needed to zoom out, or what I did was I raised my cell phone a little bit to have a wider angle. I'm going to talk about something that I'm curious to know your opinions and to share mine. So it is about ink preferences, and I'm not asking you which is your favorite ink, but how do you really approach your ink preferences? Which means, do you go for a specific ink that you really like and you buy only that specific ink and use that specific ink all the time? Or do you search for new inks, and when you find a new ink, what do you do if it runs out and if it's no longer available? So how do you do? Do you stay faithful to a specific ink, or do you spread all over? Do you search for an ink with specific characteristics, or you just want to kind of try new stuff? So this is the point that I wanted to address in this topic. I forgot to turn on the extra light that I have above me, so maybe now the color of the video is okay. Maybe before it was a little bit off, and I'm sorry for this long part of the video with this. So, about inks, how do you think about them? And I'm going to share how I do think about pens. I have to say that one of my favorite inks ever is these vintage bottles. I have a couple of them. This specific one and some other 5 or 6 came from a previous place where I worked. There was a warehouse maybe from the 60s or the 70s when people still used fountain pens there at work, and so they had these for the employees to use the inks. It was like a stationary consumable. But once there was a flood in that warehouse, and these were there a little bit destroyed, and years passed by, and at some point they said, okay, we are going to throw these away because nobody uses them and they are all ruined. And I was there when they said that, and I told them, no, don't throw them away. If you are going to throw them away, give them to me because I will use it. And I like the Parker Quink Black. One of the things that make me like is that it is a well-behaved ink, very safe for all fountain pens, and these ones that contain salt wax, they have a very distinct smell that I like. So this is one of my favorite inks. Do I buy more of these? No, I don't think so, because I still have it. But this is still available. But do I use only Parker Quink ink? No, I don't. Maybe half of the inks that I use are Parker Quink. When I have, imagine, 20 pens inked, maybe 8, 9 or 10 are inked with Parker Quink Black, because I just really like it. So it is my most used ink. However, because I first used the Parker Quink Black, at some point in my life I started using the Parker Quink Brown, which is a lovely color, but it is no longer available. So what do I do now? Sometimes I start searching for I still have some bottles of these because I made up a few stock. My father once was in holidays, he knew I liked this specific ink, and he went into a stationery store in a small village and he asked if they have Parker Quink Brown, because it has been discontinued for a couple of years. He asked and they said, yes, we have some bottles. So he said, I will buy them all, and he brought 17 bottles of Parker Quink Brown to me. So I still have many of them unused, and some of them have dried out completely, so I mixed up distilled water in them, and then it's ready to write again those bottles. But I like this ink, and this ink led me to try new inks. There is also some other approach. So I like the inks that I like, but sometimes I like to search for new stuff. One thing that I had to search at one time was these Ackerman ink bottles, which are really nice. I like green inks also, and this is a green. This is of Quartierbrunn. I don't know to pronounce Dutch. But this was a bottle that I had to buy because it had this shape, and now these bottles are no longer available with this size. They are a little smaller. I don't have one of the smallest, but I will need to buy one someday. So you see, sometimes I need to try new stuff, and sometimes because of the bottle. Other times I just like different colors, and I always found that Montblanc made really nice colors. One of my favorite colors was this one, the Daniel Defoe. And this is a special edition that is no longer produced, and if I want to buy more, it will cost me a lot. So you see, I used it up all, so it's completely empty, and the only remains of this ink are inside my Visconti traveling inkwell, which I find quite nice. And this is all it's left. I cannot show it to you because I need to put this in horizontal, but to show the level need to be vertical. Doesn't matter, but only half of the traveling inkwell is still with ink. So this is almost empty. I almost don't have any more of these Daniel Defoe, Montblanc Daniel Defoe, which is an ink that I really love. But that's life. Sometimes we don't get more, and I will not pay 100 euros for one little bottle of 35 milliliters of ink. But this is a really nice ink, and I decided that this ink goes perfectly with my Sailor King of Pen. I also used this ink the first time I got the Santini, and it was quite a good match, but I prefer most of the times not to match the inks than to match. And then I I decided to put another ink inside the Santini pen. And the ink that I put in the Santini first was this, which is an ink that I bought because I've seen mostly Wasky Squirrel's video with this Roaring Cleaner Haute Gold Cone. It is a very beautiful ink, but it's more a yellow shade than the Daniel Defoe. And amazingly, this was very strange, I put this ink in this pen and it was awful. I tried this ink, I have this inside the Pelikan M200 and it is wonderful. In the Santini it was awful. The Santini seemed scratchy and dry and skipped. It was an awful experience. So I needed to flush the pen and I decided to use a brown ink because I think I prefer the ink not to match the color. But actually this Haute Gold Cone was not really good for this pen. So sometimes we have these also. Sometimes we have an ink that we like, but we cannot use in the pen that we want to use it in, because sometimes things don't go well together. It's not the pen that is bad or the ink that is bad. There are some matches that are better than the others. So this one is inside the Pelikan M200 and it is perfect right now. And I'm still searching for the perfect substitute of the Daniel Defoe. So I tried the Gold Cone, which is a little bit yellow. I also tried this Diamine Wagner, which is beautiful but also more similar to this one. And here on the channel, people recommended me to use the Lamy Safari. I bought it, I received it yesterday. I didn't make an unboxing about that. It is one of those 150 years of Diamine inks. And I didn't even look at the bottle to see the shape of the bottle. Believe me, it's kind of stupid. Okay, it has this very interesting kind of slice of cheese shape. And I didn't use this bottle yet, but I'm very curious to see how it compares with the Mont Blanc. So I think some way I will keep trying to find the perfect match to this ink because I really like this shade. But now I have a collection of inks with a similar shade and I will use them in different pens. But I do this. I have my very safe kind of favorite ink, which is Parker Quink Black, the vintage one, and then there are some inks that I like to try and to use, and some are fun and some are very, very unexpected for me. But one of those was one ink that I tried on the Diamine Inkvent calendar, the blue edition, which was the edition of 2019, and there will be another edition of 2021. It will be the red edition, and I really want to receive it, and I think it will be released in September, and I really need to get that early because I want to make an everyday video as I did when those were released. And this is a very beautiful bottle and a very beautiful ink. So this one is here for those two reasons, and an additional one because I didn't even buy this ink. This was given to me by a viewer because I tested the Diamine Inkvent calendar inks, all of them, one each day, and I find this Solstice to be my favorite color of all. It was amazing, and it has shimmer, as you can see here. It's kind of a grey, blackish, it's very, very beautiful. And this is the ink that I love to use in specifically my Bennu Euphoria Caviar. So I think that's what I was telling you. I think we have pens and inks that are perfect combos. And this is quite unusual, but this mixes... this ink for me is a mixture of the perfect ink with shimmer for a perfect pen, the Bennu Euphoria, which Caviar, I think it seems that this ink was made for that pen or vice versa. Also, an ink that I like despite the pen, and also a very interesting concept of the ink bottle. So sometimes it happens, and then the generosity of a viewer that decided to give this bottle to me. So this is my approach about inks. So how do you do it? What do you prefer? Do you stick to your, I don't know, Pelican Royal Blue and you use only Pelican Royal Blue in everything? Or you try ink samples of every ink that is available? How do you manage that? What makes you choose or chase an ink or an ink color or an ink tone? What makes you want that? So this is my question number 1 for you, and now let's go for question number 2. And question number 2 is specific pen collecting. I have to say that these pens both are amazing, but both have such a nice ink flow that they are giving me no pleasure to write in this paper, because they all feather and they don't feel nice, which is a shame because these pens are really nice. But that's another detail. It is the characteristics of the paper, the kind of paper that I chose for this video, so now I'll live with that. So what I wanted to ask you is, do you have a specific pen collection or a specific sub-collection on your pen collection? Okay, you know that I'm kind of a pen hoarder, and I have pens from all kinds. So you can see from Italian pens, just here, Italian pens, Irish pens, Chinese, German, Japanese, French, so Taiwanese, although some people may not like that. So I have pens from all over the place, from Germany. I don't know if yes, I told Germany. So I have pens from many kinds and many places and many styles. And I want to ask you, how do you have some specific pens that you try to collect them all, that you have a specific sub-collection? For example, I think it's no secret for anyone that, for me, clearly, Kaweco Sports. I'm collecting all the Kaweco, all the modern, not even the vintage, all the modern, so post 1996 Kaweco Sports, and I have now around 150 different Kaweco Sports, so lots of them, and I try to collect them all. But there are people that also collect other stuff. For example, some TWSBI pens are very collectible. I have this sub-collection that I really like to complete. There are people that have very complete collections of, for example, Lamy Safaris. I have some, but I don't have a complete collection of all the editions. But this kind of stuff is fun. So do you do that? I know that I have some subscribers that are Esterbrook. They are crazy about Esterbrook. Some are crazy about Aurora. And I'm getting crazy about Aurora too, so I need to keep myself in place. But people go for them. Maybe, I'm sure there are people here in this channel that are crazy for Kaweco, because I post a lot of Kaweco pen videos. But how do you do it? Do you have sub-collections? And if you ask me, do I have any other sub-collections besides, okay, this is not kind of a sub-collection because I have a few, I'm not collecting them, I don't have a list of the ones that I'm missing and so on. But from the Kaweco Sports I have. Let me grab them. And if you ask me if I have another sub-collection, yes, I have, but I have to say also that is no longer a real sub-collection. It used to be. I was trying to make a very complete collection, but I had to quit because I wouldn't be able to afford it, to do it in a decent way. I wouldn't be able to afford the cost, and it would never be complete enough. I would need to live in the United States to get all the versions. I need to have money to pay. If I lived in Europe, where I live, I would need to have lots of money to pay taxes for the import of the pens, and those pens are these, the Parker 45. I love the model. For me, Parker 45 is one of the best pens ever made, and I'm trying to find some extra room here on my table that is full of pens and inks. Let me just put them aside to have some more room. So I started collecting all the Parker 45s. So there were several variations like these with the old plastic caps and barrels. These three are not Parker 45s, they are the new slim folds that I showed you before in one of these videos as the uncommon pen of the day. And then there are the metal ones. Some of them are quite rare, like these. This is the TX, which is anodized aluminium or coated aluminium, which is very nice with the golden finial there. It is very nice pen. This is the TX. It is a little bit different. Then we have the Coronet with lots of colors, also made of aluminium. Then the others made of metal, some made of steel like these, some made of steel gold plated, some made of gold. I'm not sure if this exposure is good, maybe not that much. Let me just adjust it a little bit, because it was adjusted for the paper, but with this black background it's not that easy. So I have these two. They are kind of ladies' pens because they are made to be used inside a purse, so they have no clip, with these swirls, one gold, another silver. I have three variations of the Parker 45 4-desk sets. This one is very long. Look at this. This is huge. Then some black ones with gold caps, some of the nice ones with bright colors like those. And I was really into these until I decided that this collection would never stop, because there are too many, and indeed there are other collectors out there that have much better collections. Of course, I should not compare myself and buy them or not, because other people have better collections, but actually my collection would always be a smallish collection. So I decided to change my way and went to Kaweco, because I already had some Kawecos. I decided one day that I really like them, and they were there since 1996 only, so it wouldn't be impossible to get many. Now I know it's getting difficult, and since they released, unfortunately in a way, fortunately in another, since they released the beautiful Kaweco Sterling Sport, which costs 1,500 euros, that I would love to have. Maybe if we made a petition to Kaweco to send me one, I would love to have one, but I cannot pay 1,500 euros for a pen. I was expecting to get them all. Now I'm just expecting to get them all except the Sterling Sport. So I have these all variations. These are the Harlequin, which are very interesting also. And I even have this other part which has only duplicates. These are pens that are a little bit too much in my collection. Also those on the top. And here on the bottom I have some stuff. Sorry, this is getting hard here to move. I have some other stuff which I find interesting, like these, which are some parts that I got brand new from factory. So I can make 3 Parker 45s with parts of others. I have these Esterbrooks, which were the, sorry, not Esterbrooks, the Eversharp. You can see there, Eversharp and Parker, because Eversharp at one point was bought by Parker, and they made this kind, the kind of Parker 45 shape or concept was created in the Eversharp, but you can see here it has a Eversharp Parker converter, and this converter is quite fun because it's red on the tip on both ends. So this is a fun converter. I have 2, a black and a green and a blue, and I like them so much that I even got to get some replicas. This is a replica from Argentina, from Ariel Kuloc. And you can see there, it says Industria Argentina. They have different caps there, but he made different materials. This one didn't age well, it is kind of twisted. I have another one that didn't age well, this one, which is a demonstrator, also made by Ariel Kuloc, which is quite fun to have. And this one is a duplicate. I don't know why it is here on the bottom level of this. It was out of place. And then I have even something that I find fun to do, is to find copies of the Parker 45. I have these. This is a Crest fountain pen. And if you look at it, yes, it looks like a Parker 45. This one is very similar to the coronet in black that is in the other page of this booklet, but this is not a cartridge, this is a fixed filling system, very similar. I also have this interesting Medico, which is an Indian pen, very similar to a Parker 45, but with this grid pattern, which is very fun. And also this, which is a Parix. Don't know where this one is from. It has a different shape of the nib, but overall the rest of the concept is quite the same, even the clip, the shape, but the finish is a little bit different. And I also have a couple of Moonman pens, that the Moonman 80 and the variations, even a mini one, and these are so close to the original Parker 45 that even the parts are exchangeable. So this is fun, you can change the nibs and the other parts with a real Parker 45. So this is fun for me, even to go for the copies, because people will say, but those copies, they were just using the Parker 45 look, and they are getting money, or they used to get money based on a copy. Yes, I know that, but I think for the history of a pen that makes sense. Today, when I look at all these pens, I think I will start selling some of them, because I don't really have the need for them all. I don't collect them all actively anymore, and I'm focused on my Kaweco Sports, as you already know. So, this is all that I had to show you today. Tell me if you have specific pen collecting, specific pen collecting preferences or ink preferences. Tell me on the comments below. Let me know. I check the description of the video. I'll put links for videos and stores. And I have to thank you all for waiting these 2 weeks without Friday Night Pen Thoughts video, and for staying here today with me to watch this new video. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.